Okay, welcome back, guys. I'm going to do a little video now on someone who basically said that they're feeling like they are quite toxic and they want to change. Firstly, I'd like to say to this person, well done. Well done on being able to admit that. I think it's unrealistic to go after a goal of being 100% saintly. I think that's very unhealthy in a lot of ways, actually. I can go into that in detail at another time, but I think the fact that you've kind of come to terms with the fact that maybe you have certain things that you've developed, traits that you've developed over the years that are unhealthy towards both you and your friends and family, and that you want to change. I mean, that's kind of why you've asked this question. I'm feeling quite toxic and I want to change. The first thing is gonna be basically just writing down what is it specifically that you believe is toxic about your personality or what you're doing. Like what kind of damage do you think you're actually inflicting? So I'll have that written down first, because you can be toxic in many different ways, and once we've figured out what that one thing that it really is, then we can start working on that particular thing. Now, another thing that I would mention as well is, you'll see this mentioned in a lot of my videos, but the idea of self-love. I don't want you to come into this area of development in your life thinking, oh, I'm completely toxic, and I need to change all of me. You don't. Whether someone is being able to highlight to you your positives or not, you do have positives. So don't feel like you're like a bubble of toxic energy and that you need to completely change into a bubble of positive energy that is healthy for everyone. Yeah. So yeah, I basically note down specifically the area that the world is giving you feedback that you might not be doing so well in. Yeah. So maybe, for example, people always tell you that you're far too cynical, or people tell you whatever it might be, that area that you feel like you might want to change. Then what it comes down to is finding out a healthier way to do it. Now this is going to come down to research. So you're going to invest time into yourself to find out, okay, well, what's a healthier way to approach that? Maybe you're, for example, maybe you're quite toxic in romantic relationships for whatever reason. So then you're going to invest time to research, okay, well, what does a healthy relationship compose of? Like, what would I have to change, or what would I have to alter in my current approach to be able to get the desired results that I want? So introspection, looking at one's own actions, one's thoughts, is extremely important for self-development as a whole. So if you haven't been training that skill yet, I'd say start training that skill as soon as possible. And just being mindful of the thoughts that are going through your mind, the actions that you're doing it, and the reasons behind your actions. A lot of the time, we are completing actions without consciously thinking about why we're completing them. We may have thought about why we were completing them at some point, but now they've become so autopilot to us that we don't think about it anymore. So introspection is really important. A journal would be great, so basically to write down those areas where you feel like you're struggling, and the potential triggers, what's triggering off that process. And then what I would say is acceptance. That's really important. So just say, okay, cool, that is me, that is where I am, but this is where I want to go. And then taking baby steps each day towards that newer version of yourself, that upgrade of yourself. But like I said earlier, the fact that you are able to take a step back and say to yourself and to the public, basically, I'm toxic, is a huge step in itself. A lot of people will go through their entire life and will be unbelievably toxic, but will have no interest, either absolutely unaware that they are, or they are aware but they have no fucks given towards it, and they're just like, I'm just going to keep being me. So hey, I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, just drop me a message. Peace.